Hey, it's me, OG, and I'm going to keep it quick with you. Mekkah did a video about soft locking himself on Maddening on New Game Plus of all things. It is quite the confusing video, and I had quite the stroke watching, quite literally. First off, my qualifications for Maddening Mode. I have over 500 hours in 3 houses. I've beaten all 3 of the Lord routes, so Edelgard, Dimitri, Claude, with only 4 units. Edelgard, I did it with female Byleth, believe it or not. Hubert, Edelgard, and Yuritsa, I did Blue Lions with Dimitri, Leone, and Felix. I did Golden Deer with Claude, Happy, and Shamir. And then I've done Church Route like twice with just the units I deem optimal. I have experience with it. Most of the time I use male Byleth, I don't use female Byleth like how Mekkah's doing, and I'll go into that into detail when we actually get into the map so I can explain why I think male Byleth is better than female Byleth and why I'm confused as to why he's doing female Byleth in Maddening mode of all things. I feel like that's more optimal in easy mode or normal mode, I guess, or speedruns, because in case you don't know, I'm just going to say this right now, any strats he has regarding flying are also viable on male Byleth, as he has access to the Wyvern classes as well. So if there's anything that you see, oh, well, female Byleth is flying on a Pegasus Knight, it's like technically male Byleth can do the same thing. And I'll go into the details of why I don't like what he's done, especially with Byleth. It's just aggravating looking at this right now. But I think the best thing I'll do now is I'll explain what each of these units look like they are and what they're going to become, versus what I think they should do, and then I'll show a quick demonstration of the map and explain what I'm doing and why I completed it in the way that I did. And just for spoiler alert, most of the units I end up using are just worse than the units Mekkah has. Most of them grew kind of poorly, aside from my Byleth, who is faster, and that's mostly it. So without further ado, let's just start the analysis real quick. Here we have his Byleth. As far as I remember, he has C-rank swords, C-rank lances, and then he has A-rank flying. And the only way you have A-rank flying is that you used the Renown to buy it. If you're gonna draft race, I'm assuming this is a race, right? If you're doing a draft, I'm assuming it's a race, not an LTC. I don't know the details on that. If it's an LTC draft, that's cool. That makes sense why you have 2 stride, but then why are you messing around on New Game Plus? Additionally, my cursor's there, yes. He has a Steel Sword Plus, which means he's doing quests, which means he's technically lollygagging. He's just kind of walking around doing whatever. So I don't really see the speed essence of this. I'm just looking at this and it kind of feels like he's just a casual New Game Plus playthrough. I'm not getting the vibe that any of these units are really like targeting a certain goal in mind. He's just kind of going flyer Byleth. I know in his Maddening solo he used flying Byleth, and I think that flying Byleth is the only way you could have done that defending the monastery chapter. However, that's also something male Byleth can do, and we'll really talk about Byleth and what the goal is when we get into the actual battle. But for now, I'm going to quickly go over some of his other units. Claude here, he went for axes on Claude, which is confusing to me. His Claude, as a fighter, like this is the route you go in. If I pull the actual stats up, here of course we see the Byleth and we see the C ranks I was talking about. He went for bow, that's okay. I think female Byleth having bow as an extra option is fair. If we can just move. Again, here's what I think. Yes, this is a fine. Authority, great. Bow, yeah, sure. That's really all Claude needs now. He'll become a flyer, so there's no need to invest in flying. Plus, with Fallen Star, he doesn't really need alert stance that much. Investing in axes is weird to me. Like, yeah, you get Diamond Axe, but you lack a lot of hit with Diamond Axe. Overall, Claude is much better to focus on bows because he gets Encloser, which is a phenomenal combat art. In fact, you want to raise Claude's bow rank as much as possible so you can get the bow fair, so he can do massive amounts of damage in his final class. Double fair skills are just the way they go. I can see axes being later, but you probably want him to become a archer first and do a lot of damage before you start investing in axes or death blow. So that's just my personal opinion. I think it's too early to be investing in axes. So for his next unit that he has, Raphael. No, that's not Raphael. I have this at 1.25 speed, so we should go through this. Oh, no. This is horrible. This is horrific, and this is cursed. You put lances on her. No. I understand the frozen lance is cool, but Marianne, overall, I'd say she's not actually that good of a unit. I think she gets Thoron. Don't quote me on that. But I know that her only good white magic is Physic. Silence isn't good because everyone that you want to silence has unsealable magic as a skill, and there's no one you really want to silence. Plus, you have to deal with hit rates, right? No one likes that. You have sword prowess because why now? Lance prowess because you've invested in that in faith level 3. I would have rather gone for more offensive magic when investing. I just feel like lances here are kind of a waste. Oh, I think she starts with E+ swords because of Blood Gang. But then again, it's like you could have invested in authority or something further down the line, because really all most mages need in this game are reason, faith, authority, and then later in the game they would like swords for Levin's sword. That's basically it. I really don't think investing in lances is good right now when you can divulge further into reason, and I guess you can increase faith for future ranking. But you would really want to devote reason on Marianne after you get Physic, because there's nothing really good coming down later in the line. So for her next unit, I think this is Hilda. Let me go back, because this is super speed, so we'll get right there. Hilda! There is absolutely no problem I have with this. I don't see anything wrong. Hilda is big damage with axes and can use bows pretty well. Her personal skill is kind of useful in these early fights, maximize damage, but I really have no problem. I'm noticing that she has a one-use iron bow. I don't know if he fixes that yet. That would be pretty bad to walk in there with a one-use iron bow. Overall, I still have no complaints. I do think I saw something funky when he went to this tab. Yeah, I don't know what this heavy armor was, if she was pulling weeds, but she's not proficient at pulling weeds. But yeah, axes, bows, that's all you really need. Authority would be nice though. Give her a better battalion to increase her hit rates. Would definitely be something Hilda needs with that massive damage with axes. Going forward, we have Lysithea, who does exactly what you think she does. Why does she have Saros Holy Monks? I don't know. Because she doesn't need the stride. She's better off offensively. So you'd rather attack with her. So I don't see why you would use stride. You'd use stride on someone like Raphael or Ignatz, which I'm going to go in a bit. Drawback means he mastered Monk this quickly, which means something. This is not something you'd have in a draft race for any reason. Going to the statistics, the deets, if you will. Why did you beeline swords? I don't know. You just beeline mastery for the proficiency and left it there. She's not going to use swords at all. Her strength is 4. Right? You're not going to use like Wrath Strike or something. I guess Soul Blade's cool, but then again, you do more damage with magic. Heck, you have Luna, which will likely do the most damage you have. Lysithea really spirals out of control, and near the end game, she's going to have over 40 magic, hopefully, and just nuke people. Reason, faith, authority, yeah. These are a little more than I expected, although I'm assuming he literally like fed Lysithea every single time and invested in this to reach this point. I think this is believable. Also Mastermind, I forgot about that. You just need heal, and then later down the line you need warp, but warp isn't necessary until you really get to the Ramire village, where if you want to do that quickly and efficiently, it's nice to warp someone up there to defeat what's his name, Solon, really quickly. But nothing horrendous. I just say don't worry about swords yet. You don't have to train people in their hidden talents immediately. Doing so really kind of hurts potential power, immediate power in favor of trying to slowly build up. And in Maddening, you need that immediate power and you want to snowball out of control. Raphael is not a good unit. I'm just going to say that right here. He is at 13 strength, which I believe is Byleth's base strength. I believe Byleth starts at 13 strength. Correct me if I'm wrong. He has rally strength, which I think is cool. Weight -3, I'm asking why is this important when this dude has 6 speed and most enemies in Maddening mode are around 10 AS at this point. So there's really no point to having this. Like, you're not getting weighed down by gauntlets either. If Raphael grew a lot more strength oriented, then it wouldn't matter anyway, because weight calculations would take everything off. But honestly, I would just not use it. This is kind of like copy-paste Hilda, but he left gauntlets on. This is a better unit for Stride. And also, my Byleth is 1 point stronger and is also faster. I'm going to skip Balthus for now because he sucks. Rally speed can pick up the deficit between my Byleth and Mekkah. So if Mekkah wants to copy-paste my strategy, he just has to rally speed Byleth, basically. And he can also rally strength with Raphael to do even more damage. Just a note. Ignatz here isn't doing much. I'm questioning why he has Disturbance. And Lysithea has Stride. Marianne also has Stride. The fact that you have 2 strides right now, you're not supposed to. If I recall, this is Golden Deer I played through. I only got the 1 stride from the Battalion Guild. You're not supposed to have 2 strides. And you're saying that you don't want to use Immortal Corpse. Plus, Stride would be better on someone like Ignatz here, who's just here for support. Going back to Balthus. This dude sucks. I'm going to say it right now. Like, he is just bad. Also, Mace isn't very good here. You have the shield, which is weighing him down, which means he gets weighed down by everything. He's going to get dealt by everyone in this chapter. The best thing I can say about him is that he has a big HP pool and defense, that he can be a great unit that can absorb gambits. On this, I prefer to go the left side on this map, and Balthus proved to be the better one to absorb gambits, because I had Byleth on the front lines. It wasn't working out, so I decided, hey, I'll use Balthus to bait a gambit, and it worked out better because I can use Byleth offensively there. Personally, I just think that he's probably one of the worst, if not the worst, of the DLC units. Best one is probably Happy, then Yuri, then Constance, and then Balthus, just off the top of my head. So, really, he'd actually be a better option for Stride if you're not even going to use him. If you're going to use Ignatz for Rally, then you might as well put Stride on this guy. You want to put Stride on the unit that really isn't going to see combat, nor is needed for support. If you're going to rally every single turn, you're not going to Stride with that person, so it's better to have Stride on someone else. It's weird, because you want one person for Rally, then you want one person for Dance, and you want one person for Stride, and one person for Warp and Rescues. So instead of having one unit do all that, you need to have separate units to do that to maximize movement in this case, which is, I'm assuming, what he's trying to base everything off of. So, yeah. And then he goes into the learning things. Again, I don't think you should go with Flying Byleth here. I'm going to go into detail why you should go with Male Byleth and Brawling and why it's better. You should not beeline lances. Swords will grow automatically and you get the Sword of the Creator, and it's like the only good sword in the game. Claude here again. Why go for axes? Why go for lances on Marianne? Hilda was fine, except for the fact that she had armor from something. I don't know what it was. I'm assuming that they did like a learn together with Raphael or something. Lysithea, don't worry about swords yet. She doesn't need swords yet. Plus, there's no swords for her to use. Raphael, he's there. Why does he have C rank heavy armor? I don't know. I guess you want him to be tanky, but I'd rather just use HP, and that's what Grappler's got. Balthus is bad. Nothing more to say about that. And then Ignatz, he really didn't put much into him, but this is what I would do. I would go with bows And then honestly, I would invest in Faith so he can heal, so he can do something if he's not rallying for any point. Plus healing is easy XP. And yeah, that's really it. Plus Byleth, you don't even need to worry about Faith. Like, the only time you're going to heal is when you're temporarily Enlightened One, which you only really do for a brief moment of time. Enlightened One's only good after Grappler, before War Master, for like a middling round, or in cases where your Byleth is not Grappler yet, I guess. It's easy because Byleth does get Recover at C, and later in the line, when you can get Renown boosts to increase the amount of Faith you get, you can definitely reach C very quickly, and C is all you need for Recover. You don't need Aura. Recover gives you a massive amount of HP. But Byleth doesn't need that now because Byleth is a fighter. And Byleth will eventually become a Pegasus Knight in Mekkah's case. In which case, Byleth can't use heal. So why is heal D rank? I don't know. I'm assuming maybe the holidays where you pray that maybe boosted it that much. But I don't think you get the D like that. No, he definitely didn't train because he would have gotten stars. So he must have just done the holiday and stuff like that. And he must have done a seminar with Manuela, I'm going to assume, so he can get sword rank. That's my theory. And if that's the case, then in this case, someone like Claude should have minimal. Because Claude would focus on swords? No. Who else would focus on swords? Ignatz. Wouldn't Ignatz attend? No. What kind of... How did you get that much Faith? I don't know. I'm thinking too much on this. I've spent 18 minutes of analysis. I hope that helps give a correction note. And I'm going to go further into detail of what the actual map's going to be like. Alright, we're back. And here's the recording I did where I beat Chapter 4, and I quickly speed ran through the game. I didn't even do fishing. I really didn't do anything except for eating and faculty training. I did that every single time. Really, I spent no downtime doing anything, no time wasting away. I got here in an hour and a half. Pretty easy, considering I didn't even route anything. I just kind of mashed the plus button and A and B at the same time. This is where I got. I have this muted. This is my playthrough of it. The reason I'm not doing it live is I did this before, but I was extremely tired. I spent like 5 hours at a car dealership. I was not really enthusiastic. I will keep my unit comparisons. I'll throw those in a second, and over the actual battle, I'll dub over it. I might even have to speed it up on parts that it's not interesting. Now, first off, you might notice Lorenz, Raphael, Ignatz, and Leonie are all level 1 because I thought it would waste time trying to kill them in the Red Canyon. As for Raphael, oh, show me your... Where is... Oh, there we go. He has rally strength and he has rally speed. That's it. Like, I gave them it because if you want to see a strategy with them, then of course. Honestly, one of the coolest things you could have done is rally strength and speed Gauntlet Byleth. That could do a massive amount of damage. A shame that he split his units up for some reason. So going through our units that really actually only matter. First up is Byleth. Now, doing my calculations, I have 1 more point of strength, equal magic, I have 1 more dexterity, 4 more speed, I have 4 more luck, 2 more defense, equal res, and 2 more charm, which I believe 1 is from Gerald's Mercenary. So, all in all, I'm quite similar. I do 1 more point of damage. That's really it. I have 4 more speed, so I guess I'm speed blessed. I'm gonna go with that. Next up will be Claude. Now, compared to Mekkah's Claude, if I can pull up his Claude, there we go. I have equal strength, 1 more magic. I have 3 less dex, which I'm assuming is battalion. Or he has dex. No, he doesn't have dex plus equipped. I have 1 more speed, 2 more luck. I have 4 less defense. I have 3 less res. And I have 4 more charm. So my Claude is technically weaker. I have 1 more point of speed, but I am significantly more frail. And I have these same skills, except I have bull prowess 3 instead of his 2. So we're kind of close. I don't care about Raphael. I have yet to even use him. Next up is Mary Ann, who I have 1 less strength, which doesn't matter. 1 more magic, 2 less dex, 1 less speed, 1 less luck, 2 less defense, 3 less res, and I have 2 more charm. As for Hilda, I have 2 more strength, 3 more magic, 6 less dex, 1 less speed, 3 less luck, 2 more defense, equal res, and equal charm. As for Lysithia, I have 1 more strength, 4 less magic, 5 less dex, 5 less speed, 2 more luck, 1 less defense, 2 less res, and 2 more charm. I don't have drawback like his. Basically, all my units are pretty much weaker. Are you going to start? There we go. Pure speedrun tactics right here. Now, I was stubborn during one point. Oh, yeah, here's the levels. As you can see, Violet 1 level above, everyone else is like a level below. The Scythia just barely reached 5 too. And I'm not deploying Raphael or Ignatz because I don't need them. Honestly. Can we hurry it up, sir? There we go. Let's play the game. So, as you can see, I beeline to the left with the units I have right there. And I'm going to have to take this hit from the archer, who has Poison Strike, which is pretty nasty. Honestly, I'm fine with Hilda taking the hit. She's pretty bulky. I think I made sure she had the training bow. I'll have that on a bumper. That's just how it should be. This was actually a misplay. What I'm doing here. See if I can fast forward. So what I do here is I place Byleth here, but this is actually bad because the archer could have attacked me from 3 range here. Fortunately, I think in Maddening Mode, bows are worse at range when they get increasing higher, and it's worse in Maddening. It's like double the amount from 3 spaces away. So the archer actually prefers to move 2 spaces directly down. This is just AI being AI. They wanted the increased hit. How much hit was that again? Let's take a look at that. After the Death Knight does not move. 68 hit. Imagine if it was 3 spaces away. I'm going to assume that's 48. That's not very accurate. So it makes sense that he would go a little closer. Now the archer is incredibly easy to defeat. I'm going to use Swarm, that debuff speed. And then I decided to give Balthus the kill, which he actually could not get. Proof that Balthus isn't that good. So this guy dies. Perfectly fine. And yeah, training gauntlets are busted. Weigh absolutely nothing. Easy quad. Grand example of why Byleth can do so much. What was that? 1 weight? Let me take a look at that. 90 hit, 1 weight. And it has crit for some reason. Just 5 crit because why not? They did not balance gauntlets in this game. And it's proof why in Engage they made arts so bad and almost unusable. The only reason you have arts is for like Jean to give him 5 defense. Other than that, No good. So here's when the reinforcements arrive. Well, this is different than how I normally play. First of all, this is an example of me being stubborn and assuming I could just, like, blitzkrieg my way through because it took me an hour and a half to get here, so I was really just hauling ass to get here. And I was like, okay, so the idea is that I have to defeat these guys, then take on the reinforcements. Note to self, it did not end well. Let's fast forward to Balthus dying 3 times. To when it's more relevant, there's Balthus dying again. Alright, then here's my stubbornness. I decide, first of all, it doesn't matter. This guy only has white magic. He can't actually attack. I'm looking at these guys to see if they have any funky disturbance or if they're just group lightning, so I can bait them at range. And decide, okay, I'm going to take on these guys, and then I'm going to assault the guys up top. So, here we are on player phase. Balthus moves back. He's kind of useless here. He dies. I'm like, you know what? This gambit will be really nice to hit, but I have to make sure I hit. So I'm debating moving Claude back here. And then I decide I'm going to attack the guy behind. So that way I can do more damage. Because Hilda can move... Honestly, I should have moved Hilda first. Because Hilda would have been able to curve shot this guy. And then I could have had the killed this guy too, I think. No, I wouldn't have. Plus, I could have... If I moved Hilda first to do that, then moved Claude to do that, then Assault Troop, that would have been a better move. Honestly, the best thing about curve shot and bow units is setting up those gambits. That doesn't hurt whatsoever. And now we get into quick, easy kills. Go kill for Claude. Nice, he got strength. Now this guy's not in range, so I decide to actually see if Fading Blow can do it. It does not. So it looks like Hilda is going to get the kill. I lied, she's not getting the kill. Then I come up with a brilliant idea, which is Fading Blow as much damage as possible, because I still survive, and Curve Shot. Trying to get some XP on Hilda. I think Hilda's kind of an interesting unit, because since she's female, she can't go into Grappler, which is pretty unfortunate. And I'll use this as a great segue to go into why I think male Byleth is the better Byleth. And it's honestly just because of brawling. As you saw with like training gauntlets, they weigh 1, they have 0 might, but they have 90 hit. They're incredibly accurate. So as long as your unit itself is powerful, brawling is just making them better. So what do female units get? They get the Pegasus class tree, and they get the magic class tree like Gremory, right? That's really it. So they can fly and they use magic. That's really what they excel at. The males got screwed out of a master class magic and got stuck with Moral Savant, which Moral Savant's not a bad class. It's actually a pretty good class, but it really sucks that they're stuck in Moral Savant and they don't have a better fitted role for them. Again, this guy is just, he has no weapon, and I can do no damage with Balthus. But when it comes to the male units, they get the Brawler, they get Grappler, which has Tomebreaker, pretty nice, and they get War Master, and War Master has Quick Riposte, and later down the line, that is an increasingly great skill to have. Quick Riposte is actually bugged, and normally how it's supposed to work is when you're above 50% HP and the enemy initiates combat, you make a follow-up attack, and that's just all that's supposed to happen. It actually not only does that, but it also prevents an enemy from making a follow-up attack. I'm assuming the coding is bugged, and it's something along the lines of, just guessing, set player AS to 5, set enemy AS to 0, therefore you can make a follow-up attack. That's my assumption. Shout out to that guy not gambiting. But from my perspective, that's the only way I can think of it working and making sense. So it is pretty interesting because you get situations where the enemy, like Petra, could have like 50-some 8 speed in things like Church Route or Golden Deer Route. You know, assassins that have crazy speed, and they'll initiate combat and they just won't double. And speed actually got nerfed in this game. It's only 1 point for one avoid. Same thing with skill becoming dex. It also got halved. Alternatively, luck never got altered in any way. So you actually get 1 point or 2 points of luck is the equivalent of 1 dex and 1 speed. Now, granted, that doesn't mean you have offensive speed, but it's proof that luck in this game is pretty good, especially when you get a goddess icon that increases it by 4. Those are show that they did not balance the goddess icon in accordance, nor the skill book. Going on here, I'm wary about the Death Knight's positioning, but it's no big deal. This next group of enemies is actually easier. I think there's only 3 instead of 4. But back on the brawling, another thing is, I believe at B rank it is, you get the combat art, Healing Focus. It costs absolutely nothing and you heal half your HP. It is incredible. Incredibly busted. And being able to heal over 50% means you always get put above quick riposte range, meaning that your War Master Byleth is basically never getting doubled when initiated. If you're taking on 1 or 2 units, you're perfectly safe and perfectly fine. I also learned that Balthus' only good use here is absorbing gambits, because he is not doing anything offensively. You might be wondering, well, why is Byleth so good compared to other male units? Why did I say Raphael was bad? Why did I say Balthus is bad? Well, clearly Balthus is bad. Well, Byleth starts with high stats, has great growths. In addition to that, can grow brawling really quickly thanks to faculty training, and is proficient in it. So he gets a 50% boost to the massive increase of faculty training. I believe normally it's 20, that makes it 30. We can really go up quickly. A lot of people teach it. Yuritsa, Rhea, Catherine, and Alois all teach brawling. So you have multiple teachers that you can spend most of your faculty points doing, because you're only going to eat like 2-3 times. So when you have like 6 or 7 activity points, you can just faculty train and grow brawling like crazy. And another benefit of brawling is because you attack twice. And this is the theory of brave weapons, right? What am I looking at here? Oh yeah, I'm just kind of looking at the numbers, because I don't even feel that broken and I'm just doing crazy damage. Reason being is, since, for instance, training gauntlets, they have 0 might, right? We're only basing it off of strength. If we take a skill like Fist Fair, where we do 5 more damage in combat, that 5 damage happens first. So if I have 18 strength, I'm doing 18, and someone has 0 defense, I'm doing 18 times 2. With Fist Fair, I'm doing 23 times 2, which in that case is actually a 10 damage buff from Fist Fair. Now, you can also have Fist Fair as a class skill, and you can get it from S plus Mastery. 22 crit, man. But you can get Fist Fair for Mastery, so that's, 5 plus 5 is 10. That times 2 is 20. Include Death Blow when initiating. That's 16 times 2. That's 32. Include Byleth when transforming in month 1. At the end of month 1. Gets a new skill that boosts it by all damage by 2. You then add that to gauntlets. So you got 5, 5, 6, and 2. That's 18 times 2. You get 36 extra damage before the foe can even counterattack. It is absolutely insanely busted. And that's part of the reason why someone like Balthus, who, I don't remember what King of Grappling even does, but you look at Raphael, that skill can't grow it as efficiently, and is not as reliable. Isn't fast, so it doesn't get that bonus avoid. Because with brawling and avoid, even though I said speed isn't relevant, it's nice to have because of avoid. You can add that to luck, and then brawling prowess level 5 gives you 20 avoid. If you are like using both this and you're using DLC, learn or make sure you master War Cleric or War Monk, because you get brawl avoid plus 20, so you get 40 avoid with just 2 skill slots, mind you. So if you have Death Blow, Fist Fair, Brawl Avoid, and Brawl Prowess level 5, you're using 4 of your 5 skill slots, 5th one being Quick Riposte. That is like the ultimate build, right? You get 40 Avoid. You cannot be doubled when initiating. You double when initiating before they can even counterattack. You have high crit. You're not getting weighed down, so you don't have to worry about your Avoid taking a hit. It's just looking at this. Just the Byleth that's only one level above. It's barely much of a difference, but you just see Byleth cleaving through these enemies. And it's absolutely insane. Honestly, I think I have to make a video one day about flyers in Fire Emblem. Because I'm not saying flyers bad, but I think that people have definitely fallen into a pitfall, referencing Mekkah. This boss is a pushover, don't even worry about it. But I think people have gotten to the thought that because flyers have high movement, they're always good. And one of the issues with that is there's a lot of flyers that aren't that good. Like, Marcia's good in Path of Radiance. Yeah, sure, whatever. But when you compare Jill to Marcia, Jill has a lot better opportunity because her growth is better. She has access to axes, which means more damage. How long did this take me? Oh, going through all my save files. But I think that a lot of people just think that... I'm going to pause it right there. I think a lot of people have the misconception that flyers are always the best unit in the game. But you look at something like Fates, and even though Camilla is that good, her bow weakness hurts her, and you get games like, FE6. I don't think the flyers are good because they're powerful. I think they're good because of utility. Problem is, Byleth is your best offensive unit in the game, hands down. Amazing crest, amazing skill, grows very easily thanks to faculty training. That why would you use your utility flyer on Byleth? Additionally, your best flyer is probably Claude. I think Claude is the best flyer in 3 Alices, and it's not because of rescue utility, it's because of what he has. He has the Immortal Core, he has Enclosure, he gets Wind God, right? He's not good because he's transporting people. He's good because he's providing chip. He's, preventing movement. And that's part of what makes him great. Thing is, a lot of people are just assuming, female Byleth go Brave Bow Burr. When it's like, well, you could have someone reliable that doesn't die easy and is relying on good growths. Versus when you can just do brawling gauntlets, support it with some magic so you can move around easy. Mobility can be patched really easy, especially with more units. When I used only 4 units to beat Maddening, I didn't even use Stride because it wasn't worth it. I'd use powerful gambits to alter the course of battle. And on Church Route, I didn't have access to, 2 powerful Edelgard gambits, further range Claude gambits, or Dimitri's wave attack, where you get 2 of them. I had to deal with what I got. And, it kind of hurts seeing something like what Mekkah was doing, playing the game, and I'm just like, I've optimized this too much. It hurts to watch. It really does. So if there's anything to say is, if you want me to go into further detail about anything Three Houses related, I'd love to do like only quick discussions. I really don't want to pick this game up again. You see on screen a 30, a 40, a 45. That is the equivalent of 115 hours. And those are just 3 of my playthroughs. That's not including my first playthrough, my second playthrough before maddening was added, or the not failed attempts, but more like incompleted attempts because I got bored. Or I've beaten the Death Knight. The real Death Knight problem is the chapter where you have to rescue Flame. I've beaten that with only like Byleth and Hubert, only Byleth and Dedue. If you want a tier list, if you want any like unit discussions or chapter tips, I'm fully open to make a quick video. But for the life of me, the last thing I want to do is speedrun through Maddening Mode again for footage of a map. So if someone out there is willing to just, you know, have the video of the map that I can use, or if like Mekkah is all right with me just showing the clip, having the link in the description, and yeah, I'll have the little text box in the corner of the screen, I would be willing to go into further detail, but I would prefer not to. So, without further ado, we have concluded beating Chapter 4, Mekkah Challenge, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I hope you all learned something today. I hope you learned that Byleth is the best unit in the game, brawling is better than flying in Maddening Mode, and everyone out there invests in brawling Byleth.